Welcome back to the Roadshow this morning in the buzz. Following the death of high school student Phoebe Prince, South Hadley, Massachusetts schools have drafted a new anti-bullying policy. Of course, Prince is the 15-year-old girl who killed herself after being bullied by her classmates, many of whom are now facing charges in connection with her death. Now, this new policy requires all staff members to report any bullying that they see or learn about and pledges to promptly and reasonably investigate any allegation of harassment. Of course, many critics say the school did not do enough to stop the bullying in the first place and that they knew the problem was happening. So the question here is a policy going to make any difference?
Well, I don't understand how they had to make it a policy if you're a teacher or an adult in general, a guidance counselor, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're the lunch lady and you're an adult and you see kids bullying other kids, it has to be a policy for you to report that to somebody? Like, come on, really?
What do you think, Michelle?
I think the second part of that is great. The fact that they are going to investigate every allegation that comes up. I mean, they should be, because this is really serious. I think the hard part about it is that the bullying, I mean, what we grew up with in high school, the bullying ended when you walked out of the school doors a lot of days. But now it continues in all of these social media that we have. And so I think, how do you police that?
Well, and the other thing, too, is I think that there's an idea in mind of, well, it happens. You know, everything's okay. And so at least to have this dialogue of heightening the awareness, I think, is a good thing. But I mean, so many times in the media, you know, as a reporter, I've seen when there's some sort of a fallout, and then everybody jumps on board to say we're changing this policy and that policy, and nothing ever happens. So I'd really like to hope that people will intervene and be sensitive to the needs of these kids who are being picked on. The only thing is, it does seem a little bit like too little too late, especially I can't imagine how the parents of this girl must feel knowing that they're enacting this policy now. I have to imagine they'd say, duh, thanks. And the parents have said, you know, we went to you over and over again. It didn't even make a difference. So why is a policy?
I want to touch on what Michelle was saying. It's, you know, a lot of the parents obviously came from a different generation where bullying was, you know, it just happened. Yeah, it was part of growing up, toughen you up. But like you said, it doesn't have the ramifications it does now in terms of when you go home and you go to check your Facebook account and you get hate mail, and then you log on line to do whatever, and everybody's popping up, you know, making fun of you or what have you.
I mean,
and text messages and everything. It never ends. You can't get away from
and I've seen lots of kids in high school where, you know, they're not giving out their cell phone number, but they have a friend who they think is a friend who's not really a friend, and who gives out the number, and the next thing you know, they're getting text messages because the number's been passed around, and it's terrible.
Definitely.
You know,
I mean,
go ahead.
I was going to say that at least for Phoebe's parents, the fact that this has been brought to a national level, and we have seen where it possibly has already saved the lives of other students, because now parents are saying, maybe this is serious, maybe my child and the bullying, maybe it is feeling out of control for them. So at least they have that, where it's hopefully made a difference for some families.
It's a shame that it had to happen like this, but how many times do tragic things like this, it takes something like this to kind of get the wheels in motion?
And the sad thing is her parents were saying, we don't want it to come to this. You know, that's why we are going to you. You know, I'm curious, Courtney, to find out what people on the live blog are saying this morning about this, because a lot of parents are probably going to approve of the policy, but will it really make a difference?
Absolutely. We have a lot of parents on the live blog and on Facebook. You know, one of our parents from the set, Patrick Little, who's homesick, is live blogging and is weighing in from home. So I'll be his voice this morning and read what he has to say. He says, bullying has been around forever. In the old days, it was face-to-face and sometimes fist-to-fist. Now the cowardly form of cyberbullying has come of age, and something needs to be done. But in the end, discipline starts at home with good parenting. And Joseph Butera says this policy will do nothing about bullying. The bullies will always be around. Here's our poll here right under the live blog on foxprovidence.com. What kind of impact do you think a bully policy will have? A, more bullies will be reprimanded. B, students will bully less. C, no impact, bullying will still exist. Or D, impact at first, but later forgotten. You can read more about that story there in South Hadley. I've posted that on the website as well. Here's a snapshot of our Facebook page. Some of our friends have weighed in about a half hour ago. This one's from Erin Scorpio, and she said, hopefully it will help deter bullying as long as they make the punishment severe enough. And Rhonda Kessler says the bullying policy also needs to be part of the curriculum. And Pamela Burkett says she thinks it's a great start, but all must adhere to the policy, parents, teachers, and students. And that's a good point. There's a lot of people involved in situations like this. So if you guys want to weigh in at home in the poll, you can do so. I'll have those results in about a half hour. For now, back to the kitchen. Lily, what's happening?
It is